Hey YouTube, let's talk about ignition boxes. So I have, over the years, run many different ignition systems, starting way back in the late 80s and continuing on even today. And the reason that I continuously run an ignition system on my own personal vehicles is because I find that a lot of the factory systems don't quite cut it when it comes to providing a good quality spark. You know, the manufacturer's trying to make something that's going to last a really long time, and they're probably going to do it on the safe side. They're probably not going to make it as hot as it needs to be or as strong as it should be, because it might be a little bit overkill. Now, let me tell you the story that's behind this a little bit, so you can maybe refer to some other videos and get some background to this. Initially, I had an F-150 that I was towing my old RV with, and I needed a little bit more boost. I had done some work to it, and I could use some additional spark support. And I went into a Summit box, an ignition box that Summit Racing makes. Summit actually has somebody else make it for them, and they package it and put their name on it. And the box did okay, but then one day it just failed. It just stopped, and it didn't work. So checking with Summit, I called them up, said, hey, is there anything you guys do? Do you rebuild them? Is there something that you can, suggest? And they said, no, you just replace it. Well, that was about $150. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm just out $150. So instead of buying, of course, the same thing, I wanted to go with something a little bit different. So I got into a Mallory 6A box. Now, the Mallory 6A box, whenever I received it, I did a review on it, and I did sort of an installation thing on it, which I'll put a link up above here for that installation video. And on that box, whenever I installed it, I was very impressed with it. I liked the way that it looked. I liked the way that it was mounted. I changed the mounting location in that video, and I liked the performance of it. Everything seemed a little bit better than that cheaper Summit brand box. Guess what? That one failed. I don't know why, but it just failed, and it was sporadic. After troubleshooting, thinking that I had other problems, come to find out that 6A box failed. So what did I do? I went ahead and contacted the manufacturer, Mallory, and found out that not only are they not going to fix it, and they don't repair those things, but I couldn't even get a replacement even if I wanted to buy one, because the company was absorbed by MSD. Now, Mallory, going back in history, I know at one point Mallory's was trying to be a direct competitor with MSD, and they were really being pushed by a national chain of high-performance shops called Super Shops, which Super Shops is no longer in business. But back in the day, whenever you wanted anything Mallory, Super Shops had it. They had it in stock, and they really pushed it. They really liked that product, and you could buy MSD from them, but they would much rather sell you Mallory. I think they had definitely some kickback going on there. Well, over the years, that's changed, and of course, now that MSD, their competition, absorbed them, MSD has started weeding through and removing some of the items was directly competitive with theirs, and one of them was the Mallory 6A box. Now, you still might be able to find some closeout Mallory 6As or 6ALs, but for the most part, you're not going to buy a Mallory box, and even if you do, I don't know if I would, because if it fails, you're going to have to get something different altogether. So whenever that happened, I went ahead and went to the tried and true MSD, and I got a digital ignition. Now, the whole reason I didn't want to go with MSD in the first place is because the price. The price of the MSDs are always hovering right around $200, where that Mallory was running right around $140, $150. And even today, I think Amazon's selling the MSD box for about $215. That's not a bad deal. That's a good box. There's nothing wrong with it. But as far as warranty-wise, it's the same thing. It's the same deal as what I would have had with the Mallory, and that is basically you can buy a new one at least, but we will not rebuild or repair, no matter what the case may be. Even if it's a fault of the box, they only have a limit, I think, of a year. I think they only have a 1-year warranty. So I went ahead and went with the 6A box, and again, I didn't expect anything spectacularly different than what I was getting with the Mallory box. So you can see here's the 6A box and where I installed it, and this is also where the Mallory sat. And again, there's nothing wrong with this box. It's been a good box. It does a good job. The problem lies is whenever you do have an issue, what are you going to get from the manufacturer to help you out? If it fails, just like the Mallory box, that I'm SOL. I'm going to have to take care of it myself, even though I did nothing wrong and the part failed. So why am I talking about failure so much if this box is still working? Well, there's always that in the back of my mind. If I'm out on the road somewhere and this thing fails, it's not a big deal because I did buy the ignition harness that MSD sold that'll allow you to quickly disconnect the ignition box from the coil and plug the factory ignition back in so I can run and get to where I need to be, because I have done that during trips before whenever I had that 6A box starting to fail. But there is a different solution out there, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. Here's that 6A box, and inside is a perfectly fine Mallory unit that does not work, and it's pretty much junk. I've been leaving this lay around thinking that one day I might be able to find somebody that would be able to rebuild this and make it nicer for me, but in the meantime it just sits here, and I'm sure eventually it's probably going to find the trash. Here's the solution to your problems as far as warranties are concerned. Intellitronix. Full disclosure, Intellitronix contacted me in an email and asked me if I would be willing to look at their product. This product was sent to me at no charge, but there was no guarantee one way or the other what my review would be. But the one thing that they told me has almost had me convinced that this is going to be a great unit for one reason and one reason only. It's a lifetime warranty on their box. If you ever have a problem with this box, as long as you own your vehicle, the vehicle that it's installed on, it doesn't make a difference if it's race, if it's street, if it's marine, they don't care. If you have a problem with this box, you send it to them, they'll either repair it and send it back to you, or they'll give you a new one. They'll just replace it outright. That's awesome. That is great. Now you would think that, you know, MSD's got that 1-year warranty or whatever it is that they're offering, and it's $214, that something that's got a lifetime warranty, they probably are going to double the price. That way, whenever you do have a failure, that they just send you out another one and they're still coming out even. That's not the case. This box is $150. $150. I mean, that is a great price. I really, so far, am impressed with the fact that they offer that kind of warranty. Now, the other nice thing for me, at least, I'm in Northeast Ohio, and these guys are in Eastlake, Ohio, which is not far at all. So if I have any issues, you know, I've got a short shipping time. Nonetheless, shipping throughout the country is not a big deal anymore. You can pretty much ship anything, anywhere, and get it back relatively quick. So let's go ahead and look at this box and see what's inside there. Here's the part number. It's a 150D. And inside the box, it says if you have any technical questions at all, you got two options. The logical option, to contact the dealer that you purchased the item from, at which time they will most likely not know the answer to your question and tell you to contact Intellitronix directly, or even worse yet, they'll give you the wrong answer. Or the smart option, skip number one and contact Intellitronix directly. You know, that's perfect. These guys don't want a middleman involved. They want to talk to you. I love that. That's great. As far as all of the information here, output voltage, the primary and secondary, your millijoules, and the milliamp that is required. That's nice to know. I know that's really comparable to the MSD. Again, I don't think that this is going to be a far stretch from the MSD, all except for the fact that you don't have to worry about whenever it fails. These guys want to take care of you. Now, it has this thing called a built-in self-protect system, and it has some sort of microprocessor inside that can basically tell when something's not right. I mean, these things are getting really smart. You know, it's basically a small computer inside there, and it can tell whenever there's some ranges that are outside, you know, parameters that are given, and basically at that point it tells the box to protect itself so it don't get fried out. That's why they know that their product will last so long, because they do have that extra smart stuff going on. For now, they just don't do ignition boxes. I see a lot of product on their page that covers gauges, and they look really nice. I might go with one of their gauges eventually. I don't know, maybe that LED would be nice. All right, enough of that. So what do we have here? The installation guide. Not a big deal. This one says 150DL Prometheus is the name of the box. Now, I suggest if you've never installed a box before, read through the instructions. They're not difficult. The box is really simple. As far as me being colorblind, I still can figure it out myself. The colors that are used are pretty common throughout all the brands of ignition boxes, and there's very little you're going to run into that's an issue. Now, the nice thing about ignition boxes, if you don't know this already, they'll work on any vehicle pretty much. You've got 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, 8 cylinders. As long as it's internal combustion, you know, you're pretty much set. Anything with a spark plug. So diesel guys, forget it. You don't have plugs. You don't need this. Again, take your time, read through all the instructions, look for your specific application, and make sure that you've got it covered. This is the harness that I'm talking about right here. This harness can be purchased separately. I'll put a link down below for this. This harness is the harness that I have on this vehicle, and whenever you have a problem, if you have a problem and your ignition box fails, all you have to do is take and unplug the harness, move it out of the way, and take the coil lead from the factory ignition system and plug it back into the coil. Start your vehicle up and start driving down the road. It's so quick and easy. Again, made in America, lifetime guarantee. I'm going to keep on going back to that. That's a huge difference. Okay, the first thing I notice about the box is it seems to be slightly smaller than the MSD. Not incredibly smaller, but definitely smaller. Now, when I say smaller, I mean smaller this way. It does seem to be a little taller. I think that being compact this way is a little bit more important than being, compact as far as height. I like the finish. It's some sort of a cast aluminum. And you see here on the end, you've got a light. That's an indicator light to let you know how the system is. It's basically a system awareness light. Will flash in different ways for you. Of course, you have your harnesses, connectors, and then, of course, all the wiring that goes directly to those connectors. As far as the hardware that they're giving you, all the connectors, and these are really nice. I remember you used to have to buy these separately years ago. These are anti-vibration, so it helps out if you're mounted in a location that's going to have a lot of vibration. These feet do help out quite a bit. There's a couple of pass-through bulkhead grommets here. That's nice. Wire ties, screws, nuts, washers, pretty much everything you need. Now, I do want to go over these rev limiters before I go any further and let you see what this is. Now, the one on the left here, that's for thousands. So basically, you see the numbers in there. You have, it's on 9, so that'd be 9,000 RPMs. What you do is you just turn that little arrow. Again, I don't know how well that's coming up on the camera. You turn that little arrow to point to the number where you want the rev limiter to cut in at, to cut off the ignition system. And that's for safety measures for your engine. I mean, like in my case, occasionally my truck, it's an old truck, it's got 186,000 miles on it. I know that sometimes my transmission decides it doesn't want to shift. Well, whenever I'm pulling my RV, it's so random. I might run my truck up to 4,300, 4,500 RPMs whenever it decides it doesn't want to shift before I lift my foot and let it shift. And it happens once every 5,000 miles. So you can see why it's not an issue that I really care too much about, except what it does to the engine whenever it decides it don't want to shift. And in this case, this will allow me to set this up for about 4,500 RPMs, because you'll set this one, like in my case, 4,500 will be on the number 4 for the left knob, and then on the right knob, these are for the hundreds. Well, I said 4,500, so I'll put this one on the 5. To make sure that I rehash this so you don't make an error on it, the left side is for thousands, the right side is for hundreds. Real easy, real nice. And then, of course, reinsert your dust cover plugs to make sure that you don't get any additional stuff in there. So I moved into the RV here just to hang out and give you my closing thoughts. I like this box a lot, and it has nothing to do with the performance of it. The reason that I say that is because there are so many other ignition boxes out there that do the same thing as this one. What everybody is failing to do with those other companies is back their product up. Being made in America, especially electronics, that's something that you don't see that often. The fact that they do it and also offer a lifetime warranty. If you could just have lifetime warranties on everything, that would be great. And they're doing it at a $150 price point. That's incredible. I know that that may change over the years, but right now, there's nothing out there that's going to beat that kind of warranty. Now, as far as the installation on this, I did an installation video on the Mallory 6A box. You can follow those steps for this vehicle here and also my F-150, which I did the installation on. It's exactly the same. Those Ford trucks really haven't changed for quite a few years. So I'm going to put a link down in the description for that video. I'm also going to probably put a link up above here if I haven't already to show that installation, so you can go to it. Just click the little box that pops up there. If you're interested in purchasing this, contact information's down below, and if you need to give them a call for any advice or any suggestions, just tell them that Mike from FoxBoss9 sent you. Again, I'm not getting any kind of a kickback on this. I'm not being paid for this. I was just given this unit to review. Intellitronix in Eastlake, Ohio. I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks as always. Bye.